Niecy, Nash, and Shonda Rhimes in one episode? Mindy really brought her A game this week. This episode of the Mindy Project is all about lying and how it's good, and it gets you what you need. The episode starts out with Mindy being the designated driver and getting pulled over for speeding. But she's not going to get a ticket because she uses a tried and true method. Lying and crying. Totally works. Dr. Jean Fishman is in charge of all the schedules at the hospital so that when people have to make a C-section happen, they come in at their appointed time. You don't want to tick her off. Which, of course, Mindy in her office totally does. Well, except for Dr. Jeremy. He was at her meeting on time, but, well, we expect that from him. He's British. But Mindy comes up with a plan. She knows how to get back into her good graces. She's gonna take her out for a night on the town. And if it was anyone else, this would totally be a great idea. But it's Mindy. And it turns out that Dr. Fishman's interest in Mindy is more than platonic.
Jean has a case of Mindy fever, and we all know there ain't no cure for that.
And since Mindy likes to lie and she's really just wants to get everything fixed for her office, she lets it go. And the two kiss. While all this is going on, Peter has his own problem. He has to go to the beer pong tournament and his partner can't go. So he starts auditioning Morgan, who is a terrible shot. Thankfully, Dr. Jeremy had lots of practice putting ice in his dad's drink, and so he is the perfect beer pong partner. Of course, the two have their issues over Lauren, but hey, they've got to beat Shonda Rhimes. This is no time to be petty. The situation with Dr. Fishman does not go well because we find out that she is married, and of course she finds out that Mindy and Danny are a couple. So the only thing left to do is to lie about it some more. But in order for this to work, Danny has to go along with it, which of course he doesn't want to do. In the end though, for the good of the practice and for Mindy, he decides to lie. He's not very good at it, but he's good enough, and everything works out okay. And now for my favorite quotes from this episode. When they've been pulled over, the cop says to her, "You remind me of the demented aunt that raised me," or the demented doctor you're talking to right now. When Mindy goes to Dr. Fishman with the cactus to ask her out on their girls' night, she tells her this: "We're just two women trying to make it in this female-dominated industry." When Mindy lets the guys know that she might be gay because she kissed Dr. Fishman, Peter allays her fears.
You're not gay. You asked me to help you mail yourself to Chris Hemsworth.
At the beer pong party, when Jeremy and Peter are talking to Peter's old friends, they come out to say that they are kind of in the porn industry, but they have a charity. Pyongyang. They parachute porn into North Korea. I wonder if this is a real thing. Shonda Rhimes had a great line about Peter. I wrote a TV pilot about him once. Network said it was too sad. When Dr. Fishman and her wife come to the house, they see that the window is open and they think Danny's jumped, but Mindy explains it all away. I threw a dirty dish out the window because I didn't want to deal with it. At the end of this episode, everything works out. Mindy and Danny are happy, Dr. Fishman and her wife work it out, and Jeremy and Peter seem to have made a new step in their relationship. Everything was back on track this week for the Mindy Project after last week's slip into something weird.